Hello, welcome back to Boring Sales. I'm Diego Mangabeira, and on this episode, we're going to talk about subject lines that get open in 2026. I'm going to share with you real data analytics about the emails analysis related to opening rate or click rate and everything related to email marketing. Everyone has opinions when we talk about subject lines, or even what's best time for sending emails, what's the best catch, or even what's the best strategy. Okay, but if we're talking about that, most of these opinions are vibes, are uh, like instincts that you have throughout your career, or even you heard some experts share with you, and then you start doing it. I'm giving you data today about it, and I'm going to also tell you why the data is also lying to you usefully. Okay, in terms of experience, how can I say what I'm going to say? Basically, in terms of experience, I sent more than 600,000 emails to the numbers is 663K emails that I sent. Subject lines that felt most uncomfortable to send the performance best. Sometimes the emails with the best performance didn't perform the way that I wanted. I also try different approaches, different data source. For instance, probably you know Gong.io. I try that. I try HubSpot. I try Pipedrive. Anyways, I always looking for new strategies that I could use, but at the same time, it didn't work or it worked well. So that's why I consolidated all this data here. In the polished way, I'll say the professional ones, they had the mediocre results. When we're talking about being polite, something like that, it doesn't work really well. So the weird, internal looking, or even oddly specific ones, I'll say the most customized or personalized emails, they were better. So way higher open rates they had, click rates as well, and so on. So why most subject lines fail? I'll consolidate in some points here, some bullet points that I'll need to share with you. The first, quick question about your sales stack. For instance, you could use that as a subject line. Quick question about your sales stack. 600 reps, send that today. So if everybody's doing the same, you're going to be equal to your competitor instead of differentiating or brand differentiating yourself as a salesperson, a sales professional, or even a founder. Other way of using the subject line, partnership opportunity. Sounds like spam because it's spam, right? Partnership opportunity. If you receive some email like this today, for instance, in my inbox today on my Mac here, probably you're not going to open it. And another subject line, following up my previous email. You're confirming nobody opened the first one, basically saying that if the person didn't reply, it must have a reason, right? Another subject line, increase revenue 40% in 90 days. Sure, I'll throw in a bridge. So basically, that's too be good to be true, right? Everybody tends to think that there's a BS. That's not real, something like that. There's always cream if we're thinking about the terminology or even the emotional that you create with it. Sales email, delete me, something like that. Oh, please delete email, delete button on your keyboard. Your job is not to look like a sales email. Ironic, I know, but you need to think your own way, your own mindset, the way that you communicate, not try to copycat everything that you're receiving on a daily basis. So I created 4 patterns and what actually works with you today for you to make sure that your next subject lines could convert better, could have a better ROI, and also you could increase your rate and you could sell more today. Okay. The first pattern that we notice is the internal email lookalike. What's that? Looks like a forward or internal thread. You could use, for instance, RE, okay, 2 points, and pipe, for instance, an example, like a response, okay, 2 points, pipeline velocity at and company name. Or you might try something like that. First name from the lead, from the DM, from the decision maker, and slash quick one. Okay. So it's really personalized. You are just creating value oh, Diego, am I creating something that doesn't exist? For instance, response for email that he didn't or she didn't respond? Not at all, because people receive a lot of email on a daily basis. Sometimes they think they responded, so that creates a trigger. And most of the time, they're going to open it. And on this pattern, the first one, the internal email lookalike, you're going to create something that feels familiar, gets open. And the most thing I remember, 2012 when I first read Digital Marketeer from Ryan Dye's email about it. There are some goals that we need to follow. Okay, an email outreach independently if you work with sales or you're a CEO, you're a VP, it doesn't matter. The goal for an email is to be open, and that's it. Okay. Once you have an email, the person needs to click, and then we're going to have another KPI. Once the person clicks, he or she is going to find a landing page, a purchase page, a Stripe page, or whatever page that he or she is going to access. And when he or she does do that, we have like a purchase rate or a KPI for purchase, something like that, or even a demonstration, book a call with me, something like that, different. So we are talking about 3 KPIs, 3 different, but talking about emails, we just have one KPI, open rate. Okay. Second pattern on this case is the suspiciously specific. What I'm going to try to say to you. Imagine an example like this. Saw you hire 3 AEs in Q1 or Q1, curious about ramp time. So you saw some information, probably LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a best sourced activity that you must do on a daily basis, especially for the clients or leads that you'd like to have a conversation with. You can see the jobs. If you're going to LinkedIn company page, you scroll down, or even in the front. Sometimes they change the design of the page. But anyways, you look for the tab that is called jobs, and then you can see how many jobs they are open, or even you can try to find people, and then how many people are working as an AE or CEO, founders, and so on. So you can try to start a conversation based on who they hired, and you're also excited to talk about those that growth as a GTM strategy that works. And on the second pattern, we're talking about specificity, signals, research. So you're really specific about what matters for them. Okay, research signals. You are not spraying and praying. So we're talking good stuff here, real stuff. Pattern 3, we're talking about the honest disarm. Imagine an example or a subject line like this. This is a cold email, period. Worth 90 seconds. Okay. You're already selling the information, the idea that you're sending a cold email, and that's okay. Let's see how it goes. And on this case works because it's the only honest subject line in the inbox. Most of the time, he or she wants to open it because it sounds real. It sounds true. Okay. And the pattern number 4 is the curiosity gap. And imagine a subject line like this. Why your reply rate is low, and in like a quote is not the copy. Okay. So the brain hates incomplete loops. The brain wants explanation. It wants more clarity. So it opens to close a loop. The person opens to close a loop. And because of that curiosity that you created, just only based on the subject line, you're going to create more value. Okay, so the data lies on this case. Here's what I said. The data was also lying to you in the first place. Open rate is a vanity metric. If nobody replies after opening, you need to increase your opening rates, trying to do different things, not because everybody's doing, but base it on your own feeling, your own guts on this case. And I've seen, for example, 70% open rates with 0.2 reply rates. And that's fine. Subject line earns the open. In this case, we have another problem. That's the reply rate. And that's another thing for another episode or podcast or video. So you might try this framework in batches. I always recommend that. Try to 50 to 100 a minimum a day if you are able to do so, or even on a weekly basis, and then you can increase the numbers. Chase one variable at a time. I share with you 4 patterns. You might try first in the first week of the month, second in the second, and third, and so on. Okay. Track open rate and also reply rate together, never just one, because you are trying to create value for the other part, for the stakeholder, for the DM, for the person that wants as a customer. So track both of them. Sometimes you're going to have a increase of your open rate, but a decrease of the reply rate. Maybe I need to fix something in my communication. I'm not clear enough to do so. Okay. The winner becomes your control. So you can create variations from that email, and you can try in different sequences that you are going to work. And or even you might try to copy and paste to other AEs or any other person inside your team. Okay, boring on this case? Yes, this is boring. That's how I know that works, because once you have numbers, once you have a pattern, a process, you can multiply that process. So it's really boring if we're talking that way. That's one subject line approach this week. One, see what happens, and then come back to me here and respond, or even comment below about your success. Okay, and keep it boring. I wish you a great week, a great day, and see you in another episode from Boring Sales. Bye bye. Take care.